Spider-Man Brand New Day's first trailer is here, and it looks like Marvel hit shuffle on the entire roster. Too many characters, or exactly the kind of chaos we signed up for? Let's get into it. Welcome back to Epic Media Adventure, your source for the nostalgia of yesterday and tomorrow. I'm Scott Taylor here, as always, with Mr. Steven Garcia. Steve, how you doing?
Fantastic. Just waiting on this. I didn't think we were going to get the trailers this soon, but I'm waiting on this movie, and it looked good. It looked good. I'm kind of stoked that it came out, so I can't wait to jump into this.
Yeah, and just for all of you viewers out there, we're not heavy spoilers. We're not Screen Crush. We love those channels, but that's not us at this point. We don't have all the insight of, well, if you freeze frame here, you're going to see this.
Right.
Any of that information we're getting from them. So this is truly just, what's our view on it as fans, as people that have grown up with the Marvel comics and have enjoyed the Marvel Universe. What do we think of this trailer? So yeah, I agree. I think it looks good. It's like a sad Spider-Man, which is where it has to go after the last movie.
Yeah,
which I'm all for a sad Spider-Man. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the thing about I think the Spider-Man movies, because they were locked up at Sony for so long and kind of by themselves, for better or for worse, it kind of gave them a chance to create these more personal stories for Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And that when he does enter the MCU and he's in part of the Avengers movies and stuff like that, I think then that's the MCU kind of taking that and running with it. But I think when it's just a Spider-Man movie, I think they're great stories because growing up with Spider-Man in the comics, there was always this isolation that he had, because because of his loved ones. He didn't want them to be in danger or anything like that. But also just the sheer nature of what he is. He's this superhero that has a secret identity, so he has to kind of keep a lot of stuff to himself. And going from high school to college, and now I don't know where this is going to take place.
I think it's 4 years after the last one, so they're either ending college or just out of college.
Yeah. So, that's what I'm excited for, is to have these type of, not darker in the sense of more violence, but darker in the sense of that it is a little more personal, and it reminds me of what Iron Man used to be in the first two movies, in that late 2000s, early 2010 type of era, where Iron Man was having the personal stories. And so now, obviously, there's no more Iron Man, so I think that the Spider-Man is now taking that place. And I mean, it looks good. The costume, going back to basics, and the cinematography looks really good. It doesn't look like a Marvel movie in terms of like the post Infinity War, or was that the one? Yeah, whatever, 2019. And so it's got a lot of cool variables in it that I noticed just watching it a couple times, and watching it, I think this morning when I was in bed, and so I'm just stoked, and it looks good, and I'm hopefully it it kind of, in the last one I thought they were going to get rid of the MJ and the other characters of their characters, in a sense. They'll become more background. This looks like they're still in the mix, and so I don't know. So from that aspect, I want to see where this story goes, and it looks good. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about Peter Parker and the bond that he had with MJ and Ned. Right?
Ned.
That's hard to get rid of. That's hard to just erase from him. Everyone else has had it erased, but from him, it's still there, and it's still, you've got this sense of loss and grieving. He's already grieving because Aunt May died in the last film. So there's a lot of sadness there. I don't understand why Spider-Man likes to just hang upside down and do things. Like, does he not get that head rush that you and I, if we're upside down, like we lean, like look under the bed,
Yeah,
we're
passing out.
Yeah, we got to lie down for a little bit, or we've actually blacked out for a couple moments. So I don't know, especially with the cell phone. I know he just gets sticky, fingers and stuff, but that always throws me off. The cinematography and it looks great. You want to see Spider-Man flying. You want it to be like that PlayStation game, the first one that came out where you could swing wherever you wanted to.
Yeah.
And it looks like that. Looks great. A lot of ground level stuff. A lot of ground level battles. It feels like you got tanks. You got a lot of physical things that he's interacting with versus other movies where it's been kind of aerial and you had Green Goblin, that sort of battle.
Yeah. There's also was it Destin Daniel Cretton, who did the Five Rings and was supposed to do, I guess, the Avengers movie when
the Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, the Kang Dynasty movie, and so he's on this team, and he has Jackie Chan's stunt team. Who knew that they were going to have the hand in this, and that looks promising as well because it's nice to have a mixture of fighting styles, maybe, or maybe an Eastern influence in some of these movies. It's nice when the MCU kind of, and this isn't totally MCU. I think Sony still is in charge of this production, but it's nice to have some sort of, I don't know, just different looks, even if it's just for a little bit, because we have, what is it, the Scorpion and apparently Jean Grey is going to make an appearance. They tease it, and you cannot not think that because the color scheme of of what she's wearing, and even though they don't show her face, you see the costume and things, and it's green and it's a little yellow in there, and so I don't know. It seems like this is going to be action packed. And like you said in the intro, is it going to be a lot? Well, that's the danger, And
that's the thing. That's what we always talk about, that balance there of, do you get to the Batman and Robin level of adding too many people? I felt a little tired and old having to put myself back in the Marvel shoes. Put my Marvel shoes and pants on. I had to go, wait, okay, so this is this person. Okay, well, this person's from there. The hand is from, okay, so Daredevil, Netflix, okay.
Yeah.
So... And I feel like I'm relatively current. I haven't seen the most recent Captain America. I still have to see that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm pretty current on most of the stuff. And I felt like it was a little bit heavy for me to have to get back into it and be like, okay, here's like 12 different people I need to know where they were from.
Yeah, it's like what we were kind of saying with, what was it, the Superman one, and then also...
We're talking about Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Fantastic Four, where you just have a lot of these different kind of, different characters, but also in the same storyline, which, I'm thinking too that this is going to feed into the Doctor Doom Avengers movie that's coming out. What is it, next year, or is it this year? I can't remember.
I think it's end of this year.
Oh, end of this year. That's right. Yeah, December. Yeah, Dune's coming out in December, right? Oh, Jesus. That's going to be quite the season. Anyways, yeah, and so that, again, that's just the danger, and I'm hoping that they handle it really well. I'm like you. Sometimes I'm like, Austin Powers, where he's like, oh, well, if we go, oh, now I'm cross-eyed, that kind of thing, where you're just like, there's too much going on. But yeah, we'll see when it comes out. Did you catch the comic book poses that they inserted into that? I don't know which issues they are. I just know I've seen them before.
So you had him when he's carrying the dude. It's the first appearance, the first appearance of Spider-Man. Amazing Stories,
Amazing Fantasy,
Amazing Fantasy.
Yeah,
and so that's that one. Yeah, you've got some other ones with like Boomerang, I think. Watching one of the other YouTubers.
Yeah.
So there's Boomerang, cover with Boomerang. You're probably maybe they'll get to that Punisher Sniper cover at some point. I love John Bernthal. We've talked about this before. John Bernthal is great, and it's always happy to have him in more stuff.
He brings grace to the films that he's in.
So. I watch him just do Hot Ones again, like a Hot Ones with the dude from the Thing from Fantastic Four. They're in a a play. They're doing Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, Dog Day
I think.
Afternoon, yeah.
And so they were doing the whole versus thing on Hot Ones, and I'm like, it's John Bernthal. It's like he's a cool dude, a happy dude, like salt of the earth, just a great guy. So you want him to win, you want him to do well, and so when he's in a movie, you're like, yeah, great. I'm in.
I saw him on the original Hot Ones probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and before the first question got out, the host was like choked on a chicken, and he was choking, and John Bernthal was all, "You all right, dude?" And it got really tense, and he's just like, "A fight," and it's incredible, man. Anyways, side note.
Anytime he's in something, and as the Punisher, he's great because he gives that gravitas that it needs.
Yeah, man.
And the latest Daredevil, you know, we got Daredevil. Is this technically season 2, right?
Yeah.
So that's coming out soon. One thing I saw was that it's like, well, there's a spoiler there about Kingpin because it shows Spider-Man getting the key to the city from the mayor, and it's not Kingpin handing it to him. So it's like, okay, well, there's a little spoiler. That's okay. But also there was somebody else that's supposed to be like the underlord of New York City of like crime. I forget his name. Tombstone.
Yeah.
Tombstone. So I'm like, okay, well, you got Kingpin who's like, you know, now the mayor, but it was the mayor, and now you get Kingpin. You know, you get Tombstone stepping in. Like again, that felt like, oh, there's so many people.
Yeah,
I gotta remember here.
I feel like that was the kind of thing of like, well, we can't get Kingpin because he's MCU, so we'll pull another guy from the Spider-Man lore and make him the kind of Kingpin-ish villain. And you know, I don't know too much of Tombstone's backstory. I don't know if he was killed or came back to life or some shit like that, or stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I heard there was another channel, I think it was Emergency Awesome, that was talking about that. This is kind of probably a couple weeks back. And so I got to rewatch that just because he was talking about Tombstone, and I was like, I don't know who that guy is, really, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, I one of the videos I watched was talking about how you got Bruce Banner in there, which is good. And that's another thing where you have Bruce not knowing who Peter Parker is and their history together, whereas you have Peter Parker has a knowledge of the Hulk and working with him in tandem.
Yeah.
So I like that play. I like seeing how that interacts because you got one person that actually has a lot of history in their mind and another person that just doesn't.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't go to that well too much too. You know, you got MJ who doesn't remember, and you got Ned, and you got Bruce Banner.
Well, I mean, the Doom Avengers movie is going to be, I think, hopefully the last of the multiverse stuff. So you really kind of got to stay maybe in the shallow end of that kind of thing of the kind of remembering and not remembering kind of thing, which I agree is kind of, you know, I'm just kind of ready to move on to the next kind of thing. I don't think the last 5 years, and we've talked about this, the last 5 years of MCU has really been fulfilling in terms of the storytelling aspect of it. So I'm always hoping that, like, okay, let's just do something new. You know, it's just everything is so based around that. And at the time, you know, earlier in the 20s, like, it was interesting and new, and you know, you had what is it, Endgame, doing time travel stuff, and so it's just, I don't know, for me it's just, let's just move past it. That's why I thought, like, you know, those characters Ned and MJ were gonna kind of be in the back burner, maybe kind of dip your toe in there and be like, ooh, some nostalgia, some member berries, but it's like, nope, no, they're part of the thing. So
it felt like we're supposed to build up and have all this knowledge, be like, okay, remember all this stuff, and then once we get to like Endgame, like you can just purge it. You don't have to remember this stuff, and it's like great. And now we kind of build up stuff, and there's a little hint here and there. I remember these guys, but there was just so much thrown at us during that time.
Yeah,
Harry Styles that they haven't even delved into. You get the Eternals sitting out the entire Infinity War and Thanos. You've got so many things. It was like, hey, remember this, this. It's important. Okay, well, no, you didn't really need to remember that. Even a good, you know, high school teacher is like, look, this is what's really on the final. These are the core points that you have to really lock down.
Yeah.
And we thought we could purge it, but we couldn't. Apparently, we've got
Yeah.
all these new stuff, and they're just adding more and more to the list. But again, I'm here for it. I'm
Yeah.
happy to see it. Happy to
Yeah.
have any sort of Marvel movie that I get. Happy to see things interact with the Netflix series, whether it's Daredevil or Punisher. Jessica Jones is now going to be involved in. I forget what they said.
Doom.
This is Doom.
Doom.
So I love Kristen Ritter there. That's great.
Is that John Ritter's daughter? No.
I don't think so. No,
Okay.
I think it's just a common, similar name.
Coincidence. Yeah.
But they announced what was it, the next Shang-Chi movie, right? The
Yeah.
casting for it.
Oh,
and
they did.
And they got the Iron Fist dude from the Netflix series was
okay.
listed there, which is awesome. It's like great, bring them in, make it all part of it. The idea was that they were like a ground level type team.
Yeah.
And that's very much what Spider-Man is, a ground level team, a ground level superhero. So I'm happy to see them come in anywhere. Are they the leagues of Iron Man and Thor? No, they're not gods. They're nothing like that. The dude just has a really good punch.
Working class.
Yeah, they're working class heroes.
Yeah. Did you see Wonder Man? I was wondering
Not
how
yet.
that's going to fit in. Was that?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
And I've heard it's really good. I've heard it's entertaining.
Yeah, I heard that too, and I watched it, and it's not bad by any means. But for me, hopefully season 2 or wherever it went at the end, hopefully that goes somewhere, because I just didn't see the genius of it. I've heard it been called like, oh, this is where Marvel needs to go, and I watched it. I watched the whole thing. It's not bad. The acting's great. It's just that nothing really happened in the whole thing. It's just that this guy, and I'm not blowing it. This is what they tell you, is that it's just this guy who has powers is trying to be an actor in L.A. And it was like, okay, yeah, it was entertaining, but it was like, I don't know. You got to watch it. You got to tell me what you think. They're half-hour episodes, so.
Oh, nice.
I watched like maybe 2 a day, and I was like, cool, all right. And it wasn't like I need to see the next one. It was like after 2, I was like, well, I'm invested. Might as well just finish it. It's only 7 episodes, or 8. I can't remember, but it's like, okay. And then when I did, it was like, well, that was cool, but maybe he has a bigger part in the Avengers movies or something. But yeah, so
yeah, they were
that's my
trying
review
to pull
of this. A tiny review on this.
tiny review. They're trying to pull so many people, and it's like let's get matter eating lad, and give them a 12 episode arc.
This is Bigfoot Man.
Yeah.
Well, oh, is he like a Yeti type creature? No, he just has big feet. They're
Just
like
really large
size
feet.
25.
Hard time buying shoes. It's
Yeah. So it's just like, okay.
it's an arch nemesis Achilles.
And then there's inevitably there's somebody or people in the crowd going, oh yeah, he came out in Spider-Man issue number 218 that came out in like 2021. And I'm like, well, I haven't read the comics in probably over 10, 15 years. So I'm not up to date with the newest superheroes or villains or whatever. So
Yeah, they've kept not fully true to the comics with these last couple Spider-Man movies, but they've gone with the more recent stories. They went with the Brand New Day is its own series. One More Day, I think, was the last one before that. So ultimately, what happened was you had Civil War, you had Spider-Man unmasked to join Tony Stark's side of the registration. And then everyone knew who Aunt May was and Mary Jane, and so they started attacking them. And so Aunt May gets killed, and Peter is like, he makes a deal with Mephisto to say, hey, bring her back to life, and Mary Jane and I will lose our love. We won't be married anymore. We'll have never met each other. And that's what happens. And so then no one knows who Peter Parker is anymore after that point. So it's very similar. It's touching on a lot of it, but then they're also working in all these other characters. They're like, okay, we need a payoff for this.
Yeah.
Let's put the payoff into the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I mean, I thought that because the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's, his part 2 was him kind of struggling with his powers. So that's what I thought that was kind of from. And then I also know that the mid-90s Spider-Man, had a arc where he loses his powers, but then he starts evolving into an actual spider, and so he has to go and find help to get him back. And so I thought, well, that's probably part of this too. I didn't know that there was a one more day or whatever day. So that's interesting to know. That's cool.
Yeah, and they're the newer stories, so they're willing to dive into those. They're more current. They're more up to speed. Again, it looks a little less shiny than the other typical Marvel movies, and the Spider-Mans tend to be that way. They tend to be a little less shiny. Not as less shiny as the Netflix movies, but if you have a tiered system, it's right there below the regular Marvel and above the Netflix series. And I like that. I like grounded superheroes there.
I like that too. I think that's like you said, it's more of a grounding of real life, or grounding it more in the realistic kind of portrayal of your reaction to a superhero or something, ground level. I like that. I like that description. So I think we'll just go with that.
Let's go with that. Let's go with grounded.
So, yeah.
You got any other notes there, Steven?
No, I mean, we kind of covered. It's nice to have martial arts, the costume, back to basics, cinematography, costume. Yeah. Keith David, was that Keith David or was that Lawrence Fishburne? I don't know which one was that.
I have no idea who what segment you're talking about.
Well, there's a voiceover part, and it's really deep. And I thought, oh, that's Lawrence Fishburne. They're bringing him back from one of the Spider-Man movies. I think it was the last one. And then I was like, well, no, it's a little too deep for Lawrence Fishburne. And I was watching Emergency Awesome, and he said it was Keith David, who is, he also has a deep voice. That was in the Roddy Piper movie.
They Live?
They Live, yeah. So, let's see where that goes to. But other than that, Sadie Sink's going to be in it, so I'm hopeful that's going to be really good, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, we got to wait till July, end of July. It's not a 4th of July movie. It's end of the summer, tail end. I guess middle of summer if you count June, July, August. I guess, and upper lower to bottom thirds, somewhere in there.
It's the higher lower.
The higher lower.
Yeah.
Upper lower middle class. So what do you think about Spider-Man in the new trailer? Do you think it's gonna make a load of money, right? So I'm not gonna ask you that question, but do you think they're starting to cram too many people in there? Were you able to kind of go along with it, and are you along for the ride where you're like, yeah, add on the people. I'm just happy that we're still getting this type of content. Let us know in the comments. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, right down there. You can very simply hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, ring that bell if you want, and leave us a comment and let us know what's going on. We're happy to interact with you. We're happy for you watching. And again, we'll see you next time. This epic media adventure is over.
Bye.